please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, they came, they saw, but will the bonhomie result in a united opposition ahead of the 2019 elections? The road to Delhi in 2019 is certainly going through Bengaluru, at least for the opposition parties. H.D. Kumaraswamy's oath-taking ceremony at the Vidhan Sabha grounds in Bengaluru turned out to be a star-studded affair with as many as 14 non-NDA parties sharing the stage. Sonia and Rahul Gandhi of the Congress, Mamata Banerjee, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party, Mayawati of the Bahujan Samaj Party, Chandrababu Naidu of the TDP, Sitaram Yechuri of the CPM, Tejasvi Yadav of the RJD, all were just few of the political heavyweights who turned up. TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao, however, was absent. His office confirmed that he had official engagements that came up. The key question that we're asking today, will this bonhomie stand the test of time? Will these regional parties bury their differences and fight Narendra Modi and the BJP? More importantly, who will lead this federal front? Joining us now to take that discussion forward, Neerja Chaudhary, political commentator. Also with me, Aditi Fadnis, political editor of the Business Standard. Neerja, Aditi, thanks very much for joining us. Aditi, let me start by asking you, I mean, great visuals there, the united colours of opposition, but is this for real ahead of 2019? Is this really going to be a grand alliance as we go into 2019?
Well, I could tell you that 2019 is very far away and a lot can happen between then and now, but I won't. Certainly the fact that Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav, the fact that Sitaram Yechuri and Mamata Banerjee, sworn enemies otherwise.
Sharing a stage.
Precisely. So I think there is some window opening. Now, what they do with that window, I really have no idea, and whether they're able to push it open further, because that really depends on the numbers.
Yeah.
We really don't know. If Akhilesh Yadav, as is the current buzz, says that, okay, out of 80 seats from UP, I'm ready to give Congress 6 or 7. The rest will be shared between the BSP and the SP. Now, I'm not sure if the Congress is in a position or in a mood to accept 6 or 7 seats, a party which has given that state at least 4 chief ministers.
Do you think that what we've seen happen in Karnataka with the deal with the JDS has perhaps taught the Congress a few lessons on how to forge alliances and the strategic need to forge alliances and be more accommodative and generous?
Well, of course, and the fact is that the Congress has struck many alliances in the past. Some have worked, some haven't worked. But much more than that, I think it's the theme of the Constitution in danger, the theme of the spirit of India being undermined. If that theme is the overriding theme, it will be easier for people to rally round rather than who will be the Prime Minister and are we represented in the strength that we expect to be represented.
Absolutely, and I think that seems to be the message, at least as of now, that they're sending out. But Neerja, let me come to you now. As Aditi was pointing out, she's not wagering a guess on whether this means that the window is open and whether it will lead to the doors being open, so to speak. But what would you bet on? Do you believe that we are going to see, in state after state, strategic alliances between the people that we saw on that stage? UP, as we just discussed, Congress, BSP, SP, likely to stitch together an alliance. You know, sworn enemies, Mamata Banerjee and Sitaram Yechuri sharing a few laughs on stage. I mean, what will this mean if we go state-wise?
I think, number one, the morale of the opposition will undergo a change. Their cadres get enthused. Suddenly, the BJP NDA government does not look so invincible. The opposition knew that last time also with BJP having 31% of the popular vote and its allies at between 8 to 9%. The rest 60 was with them. So unless they got their act together there and came together, there was no chance for them, particularly as the goodwill for Mr. Narendra Modi still continues. But you know, the 4 states where opposition unity will actually make a difference on the ground to the number of seats that the BJP gets are Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. And these states account for 182 seats. If the Samajwadi Party and BSP come together with or without the Congress, that's going to make the going rough for the BJP. If Lalu Yadav, and from all reports, Lalu is gaining sympathy, and Tejasvi Yadav, his son who was there today at the swearing in, seems to be doing well. That and the Congress alliance holds, that is going to give a fight to the BJP. Congress alliance holds, that is going to give a fight to the BJP and Nitish Kumar. If Jharkhand, the parties come together, the opposition parties, that's going to make a difference. And if NCP and the Congress come together in Maharashtra, that is also going to give a tough fight to the BJP, even if it manages to get the Shiv Sena on its side. If it doesn't, then it's, you know, bad news for the BJP. So given that, and Mamata Banerjee's proposition that what we have to ensure is one-on-one fight in every single Lok Sabha constituency. NDA versus one from the opposition, so the opposition vote doesn't get divided. Now, if they manage to do that, then you know, the story can, narrative can change. What the opposition, their main weakness is that they don't have an acceptable face who can take on Narendra Modi today. That is their main weakness. Therefore, they're not likely to project a leader before the Lok Sabha polls. That will be a post-poll development.
Decision, absolutely. But Vinod, let me come to you on the 2 points that we heard there from Neerja. You know, the 4 states that she believes we are likely to see the combination of people that we saw on the stage today, along with the H.D. Kumaraswamy as he was sworn in, being put into motion to try and battle the BJP, whether it's Bihar, Maharashtra or Jharkhand. And she believes that it could possibly work in those states. The other point is that one of the vulnerabilities is the lack of an acceptable face, the lack of an acceptable leader. So forget the prime ministerial candidate. I mean, Rahul Gandhi made that comment which didn't go down well with any of these other leaders. Mamata Banerjee tweeting about that as well. So who is likely to then pivot? Who is likely to play the glue, so to speak? Will it be somebody like Sharad Pawar, who was there this afternoon?
Well, Sharad has got the experience. He's one of the most experienced politicians today in the country. There isn't anybody of his experience in Parliament. Even Mr. Advani's experience in terms of the tenure that Mr. Pawar has served in different legislatures, you know, is less. So Sharad Pawar, I had a chat with him some weeks ago, and his model is very clear, that the regional parties shall have the primacy in states where they are stronger, and the Congress shall have the primacy in states where it is in a straight fight with the BJP, and it's the responsibility of the regional parties to not set up unnecessarily any candidate that will divide the vote if he's not in a winning position. But that apart, you know, you see, this is an oft-repeated, you know, wisdom.
Yes, it is an oft. We seem to have lost that line with you, but Aditi, let me come back to you now. In light of those visuals that we're seeing play out on our screens, what do you believe the response is going to be from the BJP and its allies?
Well, I am not detecting that they're scared or worried or panicky or anything. It's not immediately evident. But yes, it would do well in politics. You always have to, you can survive only if you're slightly paranoid all the time. And I think the BJP will now start thinking how to outwit these people, digging up facts, using the coercive and long arm of the state. But the fact is that I think for the first time since in the last 4 years, there is a shot in the arm. There's no doubt about that. I totally agree with Nirja that the cadres are now enthused and are likely to be deeper enthused even more as time goes by and more elections are held, which the BJP is not in a happy state to win in Rajasthan and possibly even in Chhattisgarh, maybe even in Madhya Pradesh.
Nirja, let me end then by asking you, Aditi spoke of the fact that so far there doesn't seem to be any visible nervousness within the BJP, but this coincides with the 4-year anniversary of the Modi government. We're given to understand that it's going to again be a sort of bombarding of ministers across different parts of the country, holding press conferences, detailing achievements of the government. What do you believe the narrative is now going to shift to from the BJP, from the government?
I think, of course, they will project their achievements as they see them. But it is also true that there has been growing restiveness in the country, large sections, whether it's the Dalits, whether it's the farmers. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily apply to urban India as much. And, you know, as I said earlier, so they will play on that, and they will also hope that the opposition together will target Mr. Modi specifically, because they would like this to become Modi versus the others. But the importance of Karnataka cannot be minimized. You know, the BJP was projecting Karnataka to be the its gateway to the south, and actually, as things have turned out, it's turned out to be a gateway for opposition unity. Now, if the Janata Dal S and the Congress keep the coalition going at least till the Lok Sabha election, it will give new heart to unity moves. But if they collapse under the weight of their contradictions, before that, then the message goes to the country, khichadis do not work. And the BJP can be expected 2, 3, 4 months down the line to do its utmost to make that happen. So everything now, you know, all eyes are, Karnataka has suddenly become very, very important, even from the point of view, of the opposition politics all over the country.
Vinod, I'll end then by asking you that, you know, the narrative so far has gone from Achhe Din to Sabka Vikas and so on and so forth. Do you believe, in light of what we've seen, the developments today in Karnataka, somewhere the narrative is also going to change to how India needs a stable government, India needs one leader, as opposed to a khichdi, which is what the opposition is trying to sell? Spiraling fuel prices continue to be in focus. Petrol and diesel prices rising for the 10th straight day, hitting record highs. With this revision of 29 paise a litre, petrol price has now surged to about 85 rupees per litre. In Mumbai, diesel price in the city has gone up by 28 paise to 76 rupees per litre. As prices fall, the central government is yet to take a decision on relief measures. In fact, addressing the media today, Law and IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad confirmed to CNBC TV18 news break that the government is working on a multi-pronged strategy, and added that the government plans to take a long-term view to provide relief to consumers, which does seem to suggest that we shouldn't expect any announcement this week itself.
In view of the uncertainty in the crude prices globally, a new sense of urgency has developed. The government is keen that instead of having an ad hoc measure, it may be desirable to have a long-term view which addresses not only the volatility but also takes care of the unnecessary ambiguity arising out of frequent ups and downs.
So, no relief yet. That's the decision from the government. Now to our special series on the 4 years of the Modi government. One of the big push towards employment and employability was the Skill India program. Launched in 2015, the aim of the mission was to skill India's youth with industry-relevant training and help them secure a better livelihood. This program aims to skill over 1 crore people in the next 3 years. Has the Skill India mission been successful? CNBC TV18 filed an RTI query to dig out some data on the progress of this scheme. Archana is standing by with the details. Archana, hits and misses.
Well, with a clear agenda of improving employability, PM Modi's focus through Skill India has been on providing skills, and hence the short-term skilling program has been the key. In response to our RTI reply, we got a couple of data. Just a clarification, what we are presenting right now is a compilation of 2 short-term training schemes. One, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, 2015-16, which had some spillovers in the next fiscal and another one which is an extension of this, which will run from 2016 to 2020, where the government targets to skill 1 crore youth and has budgeted 12,000 crore rupees for this program. So here is what the RTI data reveals. There is a substantial increase in the number of people who were skilled in FY17 and FY18. It has risen more than 4 times, from over 3.5 lakh people in FY17 to nearly 16 lakh people in FY18. But not everyone who's getting skilled is getting a job. In FY17, just over half of those skilled managed to find a job. In FY18, this fell down below 30%, meaning just about 3 out of every 10 persons who undertook this Skill India mission is in FY18 found a job. So there is a 4-fold increase in those getting trained, but only a 2-fold increase in those finding jobs. Let's break this down as per the sectors. Agriculture, the largest contributor to GDP, saw a 2-fold rise in those trains, but placements were not forthcoming. Only 37% found jobs in FY18. Let's look at the labor-intensive sectors like that of leather. Over 5,400 people were trained in FY17, but this dropped to 3,000 in FY18. Moreover, only 42% of those skilled found jobs in FY18. So essentially, there is a drop in the number of people who government skilled in this sector of leather and those who found jobs as well. Let's look at another industry, textile. The number of people trained in this in FY18 compared to FY17 has halved. And only 55% of those in FY18 who were skilled here found jobs. This is another labor-intensive sector that has seen this sort of a cut. Take a look at the capital goods sector. There is an almost 5-fold jump in the number of people trained from FY17 to FY18, but only 23% found a job in FY18. Leather, textile, capital goods are all export-driven sectors and jobs are scarce, indicating very well what's happening overall in the economy. Now let's look at 2 sectors where the government has made a big push for training and skilling. First is the electronics industry. There is a 11-fold rise in the number of people trained from FY17 to FY18, but there is only a 5-fold increase in jobs, with 25% of those trained finding placements in FY18. The IT industry is improving. The electronics industry, once again, we saw a 11 times increase in those getting trained, but only 2 out of 10 who were trained in this sector found a job. The entire success of Skill India program will be reflected if these people, these students, these persons who are getting trained in Skill India are actually finding jobs. But jobs possibly are the biggest missing link here. Back to you.
Archana, appreciate you joining us with the details of the Skill India mission. Remember, that is information that we have accessed through an RTI. Violent protests continue for the second day in Tamil Nadu's Tuticorin as protesters wage a battle against the proposed expansion of Vedanta Group Company Sterlite's copper plant. 12 people have lost their lives so far. This after the police opened fire at angry protesters yesterday. The Tamil Nadu police's heavy-handedness has come under severe criticism, with the National Human Rights Commission giving the state 2 weeks to conduct a detailed investigation and submit its report. And we now learn that the Tuticorin Superintendent of Police has been transferred by the government, and internet services have been shut down in that region.